And at this time, I'd like to introduce Melissa Patterson and Alicia Amin, our secondary Virtual Learning Academy administrators, to take us through the presentation. Melissa and Alicia, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Robin, and thank you, Terry Rocco and Dr. Sanchez for joining us today. And welcome to all of our families and guardians. I will do some formal introductions in just a moment, but I do want to run through today's agenda so that you will know what to expect in our meeting. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Garden Grove Way and make sure you understand that our Virtual Learning Academy is aligned with the Garden Grove strategic plan. You'll meet your Virtual Learning Academy administration. We will run through the differences between the Academy and distance learning as you know it. And we'll talk about what and where the 712 Virtual Learning Academy will be. We'll talk about our qualified teachers. We'll talk about curriculum, courses, and schedules, and application process and questions. So please remember to submit your questions in the chat box. And I'm not sure, I think someone might be drawing. So we're gonna ask if you're doing that, that you not do that. All right. So just to help you understand, those of you that are new to the Garden Grove Way, know that we have a mission and vision statement, but I think most of you are Garden Grove Unified families. And so we want you to know that the Academy program will align with these. And for those of you familiar with GGUSD, you're aware of the commitment and focus on the whole child, and which this includes academic skills, personal skills, and lifelong success. We're very proud in Garden Grove Unified of our academic achievements, and we want you to know that BLA will be an alternative pathway of success for those who may be seeking a non-traditional setting. In addition, we will also be providing the personal skills that will be supporting our students and looking at their social emotional needs, making sure they're motivated for their studies, and we'll also provide a welcoming and inclusive environment. And all of these things added together will equate to that lifelong success. And so we want you to know that that is an intentional guidelines for all of us. So welcome again. I am Melissa Patterson, and I am the Director of Alternative Education and the Visual Learning Academy. And I have been in Garden Grove over 20 years and serving in the different roles. And I'm also proud to say I'm a GGUSD parent. And I really believe that the Visual Learning Academy will support unique needs for our Garden Grove students and families.
And Melissa, sorry to interrupt. We're having a little bit of Spanish difficulty. So we're going to restart the translations.
Okay.
So oh, John, it's fixed. I checked. It's working.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's working.
So can we get a thumbs up from our Spanish because we just restarted it? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Melissa.
And my name is Alicia Amin. I am the assistant principal for the 712 Virtual Learning Academy. I have been in education for over 20 years. I actually started teaching in Pomona Unified, but moved to Garden Grove as we just know that Garden Grove is one of the best around, and I wanted to be a part of the Garden Grove team. I've been an elementary principal, a high school assistant principal over at Garden Grove High School, and most recently I've had experience with the 712 career education program in our district, as well as the early college credit program. So I'm hoping to bring that experience to the Virtual Learning Academy. And like Melissa, I just believe that all students should have the opportunity to learn in the setting that's going to best suit them and be right for that student and their family.
Sorry, there we go. There we go.
We can't skip this slide.
No.
We know that, you know, from what we're hearing, many of you have really the biggest question right now is, what is the difference between the Virtual Learning Academy and distance learning? And what I'd like to talk about first is just what both programs have. So both programs really do incorporate online learning at home. They require access to devices and the internet, which our district helps to provide. Both really do need the parent and guardian support just to help make sure learning is taking place, and ongoing communication between the school and home. And both, this is probably the most important, include Garden Grove Unified School District teachers and effective instructional strategies. So both ways provide instruction from our district's teachers. In distance learning is designed to provide ongoing instruction from site teachers, that's from your students' home sites, pretty much due to COVID-19. And it began last spring, and we're improving on it if it's needed to continue, but it's really just for COVID. We have online instruction provided and designed by your home site teachers, and students will return to their home site school once the distance learning ends and it's safe to do so. That's the idea, is this is just temporary. And with distance learning, again, we use Garden Grove Unified School District curriculum, the same curriculum that's used for in-person learning, because our hope is that our students do go back to their home sites once it's safe. And we want to just be able to pick up where we left off at the home site. With Virtual Learning Academy, this is a program that's actually been worked on even before COVID-19. Our district knew that there's a need out in the community for an online education option for our students. So what this will be providing is a program that sustains in an alternative education setting, even beyond COVID. So we are actually going to provide a specialized 7-12 curriculum that's designed specifically for online learning. We will cover in the high school grades A through G online coursework. And then again, Garden Grove Unified School District teachers will be teaching this program, but they're going to be especially trained to provide effective online instruction. And in our program, students will be able to participate in like extracurricular activities and those kinds of things at their home site, but their academic learning will take place through the Virtual Learning Academy. And it's designed to be even beyond COVID, like I said before. And we will have some in-person options with the 7-12 Virtual Learning Academy. It will take place physically at Lincoln Education Center in Garden Grove. Our teachers will be reporting to campus every day. This is where they're going to plan and present lessons, and where they're going to be available to work with small groups of students and even individual students as needed once it's safe to do so. And until it's completely safe, this will take place in a, in a socially distant fashion. Students and families will be welcome on campus. We will have computer labs available and a counselor and other supports available to students and families. This is where they can pick up print materials if needed and other materials if needed. And then really important here, as you're thinking about whether the Virtual Learning Academy is right for you and your family, in this model, we would expect that we would really like for our 7-12 students to stay for the entire school year for continuity. But if they really want to return to their home sites, we would say the best time to do it would be at the semester. So this is, again, a program that continues once COVID is kind of under control and it's safe for students to return to their home sites. Our program is designed to go beyond, and this could be a permanent program for students. Okay, and one of the best things about Virtual Learning Academy, and I think what it sets it apart from other online programs that are out there that you may be seeing commercials for on TV, is that this program is going to be, the students are taught by Garden Grove Unified School teachers. They are school district teachers. They are all highly qualified and have experience teaching in our district. They've all been teaching in-person classes to this point. They possess a deep knowledge of our curriculum and, in fact, have a wide range of effective instructional strategies that they'll be implementing. They understand the skills needed to provide instruction in an online format and will be receiving further training for that in that effort. And really one important thing that you should all know is that they're really excited to work with your children and support their learning needs in this online setting. The teachers who will be a part of this have asked to be a part of this and have been vetted to make sure that they have the skills to provide online instruction. And one more thing I want to say about these teachers is that they really do embrace the core principles of GGUSD and our district's strategic plan and want the best for our students. So now we want to talk a little bit about curriculum. Again, we're going to, while we'll be covering the Garden Grove Unified School District content, we'll also be covering the California Content Standards. We wanted to use a curriculum that is best for online learning. So we have, as a team, researched different online curriculum programs. And after looking at different programs, we found that Edgenuity is probably the best one that will fit our needs. It's a program that we think can work, our school district teachers can work with to provide instruction that will help our students master the California Content Standards and will be the most effective for helping them learn in an online platform. Our teachers will also receive training in other online resources that they can be implementing throughout the year that will also help to cover the California Content Standards. And at this time, we want to show you a little bit of two different videos so that you can get an idea of what your children would be seeing if they're part of the Virtual Learning Academy. This first video that we'll show you in just a minute kind of covers a little bit about what students will see when they log on and how they navigate a little bit through the program. So we'll start with that video.
Welcome to Edgenuity, where learning clicks. Once you've logged in, you'll see a tile for each course or program you currently have active. Each tile will give you some information about your progress and achievements so far. If you're on track, your progress will appear in blue. If you're ahead, you'll see your progress in green. But if you see your progress shown in red, it means you've fallen behind. You'll need to put in some extra time to get caught up. On some tiles, you can also view your course grade. Notice that this student has an overall grade of 95% in foundational math. That means they're currently earning an A on the work they've completed so far. Great job! It's almost time to get started in your online course. Remember to keep these tips for success in mind. First, take notes on what you're learning. You might use eNotes and you might use a pen and paper, but rephrasing what you learn in your own words helps you pay attention and remember what you've learned. Second, stay on pace. Make sure your progress bar is in the blue or even in the green. If you fall too far behind, it gets hard to catch up later. Ask for help when you need it. If you don't understand something, tell your teacher. He or she can explain it in a different way and point you toward other online resources. You are responsible for your own success, but you don't have to do it alone. And finally, avoid plagiarism. It's never okay to copy and paste other people's work and submit it as your own. Even if you find text online and you don't know who the author is, you do know that the author isn't you. You can't pass someone else's work off as your own. So always cite your sources or rephrase ideas in your own words. Now we're ready to jump into a lesson. To get started, you can click Next Activity, or you can click anywhere else on the tile to go to the course map. Click a tile to go to the course map now. This is your course map. From here, you can view the entire structure of your course. If your teacher has set a target date for you, You can check the due dates in your course map to see exactly what you need to do each day to stay on track. As long as you complete all your assignments for the day, you'll stay on pace. You can also view your e-notes here. As you work through the course, you may see alerts appear. For example, if you fall behind, you'll see a message telling you how much work you need to do to catch up. If you have feedback from a teacher, you'll see an alert like this. And if you forget to submit an activity for your teacher to grade, you'll see a reminder like this. Don't forget to submit your work once you finish it. A few other helpful things to notice. Want to switch courses? You can navigate among your active courses right here, or go back to the home page. Need help using Edgenuity? Visit the Help Center, where you'll find videos, resources you can download, and frequently asked questions. On the course map, most activities will show up as grayed out and locked unless your teacher has allowed you to move freely throughout the course. To work on any activity that's unlocked, click the activity title. This activity is a warm-up or introduction. Let's take a look.
Okay, and our next video, we're actually going to show you a little bit about what a video lesson will look like. There will be live instruction as well, and we'll talk about how that works. But for right now, we'll show you a sample of a video lesson that students might view.
Let's review our lesson goals. The main goal was to graph the quadratic function in vertex form. We identified the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Then we analyzed the graph's key features. And finally, we graphed the vertical and the horizontal translations. So let's look at the key concepts. We're going to graph this function g of x as we review those key concepts. So the quadratic function in vertex form looks like this right here. Now the sign of A tells us whether the parabola opens up or down. Here in the example, A is 1, so this parabola is going to open up. A also tells us whether the graph is stretched or shrunk, but here A is 1, so it's normal. HK is the vertex, so let's identify the vertex in this right here. I'm going to underline the H and the K. H is -5, and the K is 4.
So that's just a sample of what some of the video lessons may look like for students who are enrolled in the Virtual Learning Academy. And again, a little bit later in the presentation, we'll be talking about the live instruction that will be taking place as well.
All right, thank you, Dr. Amin. So moving on, want to show you that we will have many course offerings, and our courses in the 9-12 are A through G, and they're also NCAA and UC approved, and that's important for our athletes as well. We will obviously be offering core content in English, mathematics, science, history, and social science. We will have support for physical education, and we will be able to offer electives. Again, that's going to have to be based on the student's interest and needs. One of the nice things that we have in our program, though, is our personalized feedback and support. And again, as mentioned, we want to make sure that the social, emotional needs of our students are addressed as well. So we have lessons to support that. We'll also have personnel to support that. And we want to make sure that you understand that we will work to make an inclusive environment with a focus on equity and equality. We will also continue to support our students with the study skills that they need, not only at the 7-12 level, but as they move on into their college career goals. And There are tools and things to help them stay motivated. And we're excited thinking about this Virtual Learning Academy and the 21st century skills that our students will be able to really hone in and make really useful as they move on to their college career choices. These are some terms and some vocabulary that you probably didn't know were going to become everyday words for you as you will talk with your students about the type of learning that they will be engaged in. So synchronous learning is learning at a scheduled time, and it would have a fixed start and end time. The students would be interacting with their teacher live on the video, and there's a good chance that other students would be in there, either in a large or small group instruction, depending on how the teacher has scheduled this. So many have asked that question about, well, is it just that I can jump on and look at the videos at any time? And it's important for you to understand in the Virtual Learning Academy, there still will be somewhat of a traditional school day with assigned times throughout the day that the teacher is present and live and doing direct instruction. Asynchronous learning is that independent study time that your students will be engaged in, and that also will happen throughout the day. Teachers may give in a direct lesson in synchronous learning and then release the students to do some asynchronous learning on their own with a scheduled time later in the day to pull them back in again, check for understanding. Or it may be that they have a different class and they would be moving on to that. So asynchronous learning, students learn independently at their own pace. It is available anytime and anywhere. Students have access to an internet or a device. And there are embedded video lessons and other activities that are provided. But this will be a combination of both of these styles of learning. The virtual learning format supports are the same as in-person traditional or hybrid formats that you may see when students return to their home site. So we want you to know that students will be checking in with their teachers daily. Our teachers will have on-site tutoring and small group instruction available, obviously with safe social distancing and all the protocols when we're allowed to do this. Special projects and lab work will be required and supported. And Dr. Amin referred to that. There might be times where you may have to stop by the site to pick up something to support that at home, but there will be those things included. We will have tech support. We know we're going to need that. And we will have devices, most likely Chromebooks. And if you need support with reliable internet, we can help you out with hotspots. The start dates are the same, and grading and state and district testing will follow the traditional setting. So just put over here on the other side of the screen just to reinforce that our school start and end dates are the same across GGUSD, all holidays, breaks, the same, grading periods, the same, and district and state testing, the same.
Okay, so now we wanted to share with you a sample of what a typical student day may look like within the Virtual Learning Academy. As you can see, again, this is just a sample, and once students are enrolled, our teachers will work with us to develop the actual schedule that our students will receive. But for now, just know that you can see that we have the day beginning with some synchronous learning. This is when the students need to log on. And, you know, we're going to be taking attendance this way too, because we want to make sure that we have all of our students present and participating in the lessons. And then within the morning time, there may also be some small group activities, and some in-person tutoring could be taking place, or even some virtual tutoring could be taking place at this time, as well as asynchronous learning. So that, like we said earlier, the teachers may assign a video for the students to watch and then log back in to discuss. We want everyone to have a break in the morning. And then as they come back, there's a good chance, especially in 712, that there'll be more synchronous learning time where the students are logged on with the teachers and other students again, because our students are going to be enrolled in more than one course. They need all of their A through G requirements and the courses that they need to graduate. So again, they'll log in again, and there will be time within the day for in-person tutoring, labs and projects with one another, and some time to work on some independent practice. We will be scheduling lunch at the same time for students and teachers. And then in the afternoon, this will be a really flexible time where, again, there could be more in-person tutoring when it's safe to have it. There could be office hours for teachers to make special appointments with students and families. And we wanted, especially for our 712 students who are attending the Virtual Learning Academy, we wanted to give them the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities at their home school sites. That could include athletics, it may be some other activities, but there'll be time within the day. We know athletics is typically beginning at during 6th period, so we just wanted to make sure that our students would have the opportunity to participate with their peers at their home sites. As you're thinking about whether or not the Virtual Learning Academy is a fit for your children, for your families, we just wanted you to consider some different things. Our program, again, is really designed to go beyond COVID-19, and we're hoping that our students who enroll really want to be students who want to work online, who want to be receiving their instruction online, who want to be at home, and that they're ready to do that. We're hoping to get students who are academically motivated because, again, the teacher's only going to have access to them most of the time over, in a distance format. And again, students who will work independently on assignments and will ask for help when they need it. We're looking for students who enjoy learning through technology and have parent and guardian support available during the school day. Now, these are all things for the most part that are great for all students to have, of course, and we will provide support for all of those. So I think the biggest thing to be thinking about right now is this something that, that you and your family would want beyond COVID? Would you, because our schools will probably be offering some kind of distance learning this fall. I know schools are working on their plans right now, and we'll be sharing those plans by the end of the month with you. And so we just ask that you consider what those plans are and think about what is going to be best for your own student and children at home. With the parents, we're hoping that we have parents who are willing to communicate and check in regularly, at least once a week, if not more, because we'll make sure our teachers are available. That we'll have our parents be checking the areas to see how their students are doing. And we'll also be giving some parent training, by the way, on the Edgenuity, on how they can log in and keep track of the lessons that the students are doing through that format. We're hoping that our parents will help ensure that their child will participate in the lessons, log in when they're supposed to log in. We noticed with our high school students, they tended to want to log in afternoon each day, and as you saw, our schedule will not permit that. They will need to be able to get up in the morning and participate in synchronous learning, and then complete all their assigned projects. And then what they really need is a safe and supportive, organized environment for learning at home, where they can work in a quiet space where they're not worried about getting interrupted or disturbed, so that they can concentrate on the learning. So we want to give you some information if you'd like to know more about the Virtual Learning Academy, and if there's some interest for it. We will more than likely be having a Virtual Learning Academy interest form or enrollment form coming soon. We ask that you really think about the type of learning that's best for your family, for the students, And we wanted to give you some time to see what the home site school's distance learning plan may look like, which again, you'll get probably by the end of July. And once you see that, if you think Virtual Learning Academy is right for you, know that we hope to have our application available on the district website and our own Virtual Learning Academy website, that you can see both of those links below. We're hoping by July 27th, it may come out a little bit later, but start looking for it around that time. Our Virtual Learning Academy website that you see on the screen right here, it says vla.ggusd.us. We are adding content to it regularly. We will be posting these presentations and our frequently asked question answers on that website for you to see. Once we have the application up and you have access to it, we are going to have a priority registration where applications are due by August 3rd, and final registration would be done by August 15th. Now note, these dates may shift a little bit depending on when the application is available to you, and we want to make sure our families have time to make the right decision for them.
All right, well, thank you. And we're nearing the end of our presentation today. We have put up some common questions, but I want to encourage you, go ahead. The chat box is still open, and go ahead and keep adding your questions. But I'm going to give you some answers for these questions that we have noticed are common. So, will the hours of the Virtual Learning Academy be the same as my child's home site school? And they won't be exactly the same, but as you've heard us say, it will follow some type of traditional school day, and we will communicate that with you once that schedule is set. The second one is, will my child be able to go back and forth between their home site and the Virtual Learning Academy? And the answer to that is, we need you to stay through a grading period, which at 7-12 is a semester. Even in 7-12, I know at 7-8 there are quarter grades, but we are looking at our semester. And we would like you to consider, though, making this a year commitment just for the continuity of it. But your students would be fine to transfer at the semester at the 7-12 level. Can my child return to their home site if they choose to do so? And what if the child is on a transfer? So your home site is always your home site, and that is your site that falls within your assigned residential area. If your child is on a transfer, there is no guarantee that that spot would be there for you. So that is something that you would have to consider. Your home site is your home site, but your transfer site is not technically your home site, and so that space is not guaranteed. How will grading, report cards, and transcripts work for students enrolled in VLA? Our grading periods are the same. Your report cards are still GGUSD report cards. Your transcripts are GGUSD transcripts. Everything is the same, and you'd be able to access that information in your student's ARIES account. Is there a cost for VLA? No, nothing outside of what would be the traditional supplies that you may have to provide for your child in the traditional setting. So we will be providing all the materials and necessary materials for you. What curriculum and digital tools will be used for teaching and learning in VLA? And we're happy that we were able to show you just a glimpse into what Edgenuity provides. But of course, because we have GGUSD teachers teaching our courses, they will be supplementing it with many of the things that they have created based on GGUSD materials or strategies. As we said, the teachers who applied for this all willingly applied. They are top-notch. They are the ones that are interested in this type of learning format. So we're very excited about what they'll be presenting to the students. The next question is, I'm considering enrolling my child into VLA due to concerns regarding COVID-19. Will the VLA be the only distance learning option provided to parents in the fall? And as was shared in the presentation, and all of you, I'm sure, are aware of what our governor has said about returning to school and what's happening in Orange County. Of course, we don't have anything definitive yet, but our district leaders and our school site administrators are working every single day, making plans, And those will be presented to you by the end of the month, and they will be following all of the guidelines that are put in place and always thinking about what is best for our students and staff and keeping everyone safe. And the last common question that we saw is, will classes such as AP and elective courses be offered? Yes, we're happy to say that Edgenuity does offer AP courses. Is it as broad as what's offered at GGUSD home sites? Perhaps not, but many of the common ones are. There are world languages and in the core. And so there are some of those offered, and there is an extensive list of electives, but of course, maybe not as extensive as happens at the home site. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. John Marsh.
Great, well, thank you. And I want to thank everybody for attending this presentation for the Virtual Learning Academy. And a special thank you to Ms. Terry Rocco for being here. Of course, Dr. Lorena Sanchez for